Welcome to LCDC TV. We're back here at AL, and I'm joined today by Liam Griffin and Tony Marson. And today we're going to be sort of having a catch-up from where we left off a few months ago. We'll be talking about ComCab recruitment, charity, Uber, Christmas draws, and there's a big thing coming at the end. So make sure that you watch this video all the way to the end and hear the big news. So enjoy.
Traffic is a topic. Yeah, we start off and
Well, every driver, whatever they're driving in the AL group, traffic is a killer.
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah. And when we done this thing with LEVC brainstorming about stuff, it said that the savings to business by using a black cab that can go from A to Z on the bus lane, it works out quite a lot of money actually. Yeah?
you know that's what in Holborn I'm sitting there and I'm booking. I get on it and I book a black cab.
Yeah,
because I'm looking to figure out I'll go across town. I want to use the bus lane.
Yeah,
no, so I do it, and and
I think one of the biggest things that we've brought into the group is the ability for the client to have that choice. Yeah. If they know that the route that they're going to take has a clear bus lane and they want to get from A to B quickly, then they have that option to press a black taxi, and they do. Yeah. So that's why we're seeing, as we promised, and I don't, in our last interview, was that the abundance of work that we have within the group, we can start funneling and turning on to the Hackney carriers and the black taxis, and that's what we've done. So, Liam, I think we've seen an increase of how much now?
I bet. I don't know what the increase. I mean, we were looking at the numbers. We budgeted, whatever the budget was, we are 30% up on that budget for this year. So
really.
So since
ComCab.
On ComCab, wow, ComCab alone. So you look at it, you go, since we've gone on the app, and we've cranked that up, we made it available.
Much business success, isn't it?
It has, and it started to come through, and it's, I don't know if you guys have had a look at it, but it goes standard car, black taxi. So there's, so you get to see them both, compare them both, see who's the quickest. It does show you the price, approximate price of it. People are picking it.
As you're finding with that on the AL app, that more corporates are looking and going, I'm going to go for a black cab.
Yeah.
Well, now it's a choice on the app. They're like favouring that.
I think what we've seen from corporates who use it personally and also for corporate is that they had this Uber mentality. And now because we're giving them the choice on the Addison app of a standard car or a black taxi, that's the one they're choosing. So I think that's where we're starting to see a big increase from corporate and also from consumer.
It's funny you say that because, as we all know, as from like last week, it hit the news. I hate saying their name. The American adage who probably know, yeah. Now they're saying that they're getting demand from their customers that they want to be able to book a black cab on their app, which is what you brought in months and months ago.
Yeah, I think that we've not
sort of ahead of the market, though.
We're market leaders because we are the only real company. We're not a tech or that.
Yeah, you're not a disruptor. You're a promo.
And I take back and for the 45 years and etc. of Addison and also ComCab, we're real. So I think from the point of the Uber wanting to come into the black taxi market, they tried once before and they weren't successful. It is a very small minority of vehicles that they're looking for in their wider scope. So why are they interested in this smaller number? And I think...
What do you think that is for time?
Because I think they need some credibility with TfL. I think that's one of the things there. But then also it's a case of following suit. If you look at the other apps that are out there, which is the Free Now, they have a black taxi option. And you look at Get, they've got black taxi option. But you look at what they're also offering, which is their private hire side, which is they're using multi-app drivers. There's no real fundamental control over their driver pack, where we are completely different within the AL group.
Well, I wanted to ask you this. I hope you don't mind me saying it, but Liam, Tony, if I'm in traffic in my cab and there's an Addison driver pulls up in one of your cars, I've seen your new electric cars that come. Can that Addison Lee driver, like the other drivers on the other apps, could he be driving for Bolt, or even, dare I say it, could he be driving for Uber and Addison Lee?
If he's got the Addison Lee logo in the back window, then he cannot do work for anybody else. It's
Purely Addison Lee.
So we obviously don't want them to. We want to, to do as much work as we can for us. If they're in that car with that logo in the back window, with our insurance, that is not valid anywhere else. So they have line mirror.
Okay.
Coming back to Uber, I can't blame them for trying. The black taxi is a great product, but people, hopefully you lot haven't got short memories, because
Certainly not.
What they did to the trade, your trade, our trade, when they came into the industry, it's outrageous, and people shouldn't forget. They come in with
To destroy us all.
destroy it. They came in with predatory pricing, which they still have to this day. We're still getting discount codes coming out of our ears, 50% off. Why are you giving 50% off in December? It's the busiest month of the year.
Yeah.
So then you think, well, something can't be right if they're all having to give away discounts.
That's right.
So, they've come in, they throw money at it. What I object to is that nobody, none of the regulators, none of the government, are looking at that going, should we allow that? Should we allow a great big Silicon Valley giant to come in and spend millions, hundreds of millions, on undermining the incumbent businesses? And they did it before, and everyone turned a blind eye, and the regulator turned a blind eye, and they bullied everybody and got their foothold. Now they're in this dominant position. They're about to do it again. They're paying 250 plus 150 quid, 400 quid for black taxi drivers to sign up and do a job. If you all did that, if every single one of you did that, that's like £5 or £6 million. Us businesses can't afford to give you £6 million quid just to do one job each. So is that fair? Is that competitive? I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
And then you go on top of that, I tell you what, I know I'm provoked them here, but they're doing no commission for the next 6 months. Do the maths on that one. Yes, that is another chunk of millions.
Yeah.
So they're prepared to throw at this to try and win market share. Look, we can't afford to do that. I can see why.
Well, it's just not healthy for the whole industry, is it? No one can afford it except them.
No, and
But Addison Lee down, no one can.
I think of all of that, their purpose of getting the black taxi is to diminish one thing and one thing only: the meter. They will take this out.
It's also to competition.
Yeah.
They're testing everyone's pocket now, and they're gonna be testing Free Now's pocket. They're testing Get's pocket. They'll be testing our pocket. And what this moment needs, it does need the trade to be strong to support the existing.
Exactly.
And say, do you know what? You've not done anyone with us. Yes. Look, we all know you've got to make a living. You're charging commission on top. There's a bit of high demand fee. There's a bit of gratuity we've all added in to try and accept that we've got to make everything across the board. Do we really then want to just say to these Americans, I'll tell you what, you come in, we'll go and work for you, we'll sort you out, and then in 6-12 months time, everyone else will be skinned.
I mean, like you said, talking about long memories, I remember being on all the demos, and I see a guy on the telly last week saying that he'd signed up. I don't know how long he'd been out. I think I've heard he'd been out 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we was on demos, 10 years ago, 9 years ago? So before Uber come to town, he was doing whatever he was doing. And I just think, like you said, drivers have to really have a long, hard look at it. I don't think they'll get drivers at all. Because I think you might get a few new guys saying, 0%, or they'd do anything, right? But if you really cherish the trade and our long history, right? If you want to aid in its demise, then sign up to Uber, right?
Oh, listen,
And it's just be signing up nobody, really.
there's a part of me that thinks, signing up, taking the 400 quid, doing the job, and deleting the app, not the worst message. Pays for a bit of Christmas.
Not a bad message there. I'll get 400 quid for Christmas if I load it.
Exactly. So then delete the app afterwards.
So that's all.
Okay.
So I think moving on to where we are, where the group is, and where we're looking to go is obviously we've got this tap that we spoke about in the previous conversation.
And how are you finding that? As the
take up has been good, right? Because one of the biggest words that we have, and it's become sort of a little motto within the family, which is accept, 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 because we were seeing rejection, rejection, rejection. That has now turned its corner, and we're seeing more and more drivers now accepting. The job numbers have gone from 2, 3 jobs a day to 6 jobs a day. So, and what
the volume of work
and that's because of the volume. And we still believe that there's more. We believe there's more, but one of the things that we have to rely on is the service that we provide. So we must make sure that the numbers that we're putting out are serviceable.
Yeah.
So that's where we have a big recruitment tool. The recruitment tool that we've been using, which is Refer a Friend, which I know, Grant, you yourself have referred a few individuals to us. So thank you for that.
Pleasure.
And also the other drivers that we're getting on board, which are new drivers, are seeing the benefits of being on a ComCab Addison lease circuit.
Well, I've got to say, I'm not joking about it, because there'll be people watching this who go, I bet he's getting paid. But since I've come on ComCab 6 months ago or something, I live in South London, deep south, and it's opened a whole new work stream for me,
I think one of
which I never used to get before.
We've embraced this whole futures concept, which was a bit daring, a bit bold, because our trade, private hire and taxi, is all been about on demand.
Yes,
it's about right. What's available? Boom, can we cover it? And so to be truly efficient, you want to leave that to the last minute. And so the idea of then putting work up there that you can then just select, cherry pick, does leave us a bit exposed to leaving us with the dregs of it and trying to cover that last minute. And so, we were slightly worried about doing it, but it's been brilliant. It's been, and you guys have embraced it. We're now doing it on private hire, not to quite the same extent, but it gives drivers the freedom and the choice to plan your own day, pick a job, see where you're going to be.
That's the biggest thing I've had from drivers. They've come into us and said, Toad, you know what, we've actually got some life back. Right, we've got some family coming back, because I plan, like you've said, drop the kid off to school, then I go do my futures, able to then pick him up after football. That's what I'm going back there.
Yeah. But how many futures a day can I book, Tony? If I'm indoors and thinking tomorrow, how many can I have?
Right, so the ability when we first started, I tried it out with, it was 5 and 3 days.
Wow, 5 and 3.
And that was working okay. I see that it took some traction. I then moved it to 5 and 5 days, which took even more traction. So I looked at it then as 7 days is quite a long period for anyone to have their appointments changed, whatever it needs to be. So what we do now is we allow 7 days of looking at futures, and you're allowed to take 7 jobs per day. But it's up to 5 days, so you can get 35 immediately, and then 14 is on your other 2 days.
Wow. Okay.
So in all, 7 sevens, 49. You can have 49 jobs per week, and if you want to take the average fare, let's say £25,
As a maths.
then it's maths.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, like you said, you can plan.
That's before you started. That's your week fix.
If you've got a rental street and stuff like that.
Your rental cost, your
First job of the day. It's the one.
Well, I find that really helps me. Yeah. Because before, living deep south, I'd drop my kids off at school, and then it would be a slow meander through South London, hoping whatever. But now I can go, right, I'm dropping them off there. I've got a 9:30 booking from Streatham to King's Cross or something. And you do that first job, you get that under your belt, and you're flying.
But then it costs, if you was travelling in 5 days, and this is where I've had in-depth conversations and trying to change some of the mentality of some drivers, is that they drive in 16 miles empty to then start their work in town.
Yeah.
How much 5 days a week is that costing them? If that's costing them £8 or £9 for every journey in and their time, if they can then start with a job that brings them in, which is giving them £30, £40 over the course of a year, how much are they in front?
Oh.
That has been the big game changer in the mentality of seeing, and I saw it in the fact that I drive in, as you know, every morning. And the amount of orange lights I used to see following me all the way down
Dead mileage is
until they get into London, because no one in Salisbury is going to put their hands out. No one in Monument Way is going to put their hand out. So they've travelled all that distance with their lights on to get nothing. Now we give them the option, not every day, but we give them the option that there is a job in. And that is where we're getting the take.
And also, it's great for the public to know that they can pre-book a black cab to come in from these areas as well.
And also, when the driver turns up, it's the same as with an Addison Lee driver, the friendliness, the professionalism, it's all there encapsulated in that one journey. And from that, the passenger is booking again.
Yeah.
Because they're not getting a surge fare, they're not getting we'll say the horrible word, an Uber that don't know where they're going and this and that, and using sat nav. These are professional drivers that we have on both sides, and that's we're going to lead on to something at the end of this to say what we're really invested in that heavily.
Since our last interview, have you found an uptake of hackney carriage drivers coming onto the app?
Yes, we're at
Would you like more?
obviously we'd love more.
And if they was to
turn the tap on,
if they was to sign up, say they watch this video, if they was to sign up, you got a thing at Christmas, haven't you? A draw?
Yes.
Drivers?
Yes, we've got a Christmas draw, which is for existing drivers at the moment.
Okay.
Which we're giving away, like we did last year. We're going to give away £10,000 to a lucky drivers. Yeah, 10,000. So I know that last year we gave it away in the sections. It changed some drivers' Christmases, which made me feel very good. Yeah. But we're doing it again this year. So far, I think we've already got around about 1,000 drivers have already got their ticket.
Okay.
And there's still a couple more weeks to go.
Okay.
So, yes, hopefully we'll be doing the draw, I think, on the 23rd December, which will be a live draw, as we've done before.
On the internet.
So, all drivers, please watch it. Because, as last year, one of the actual winner was sitting in a McDonald's with his wife and his child, and didn't watch it. Right? And I made the phone call after, and it was fantastic to hear him. And his wife, was even more ecstatic because he's got $5,000 to go and spend. So the Christmas draw is very important. That's a very good gesture from the group.
100%.
So that we will do. But from a recruitment point of view, is if a driver has a friend and he refers him in December, they will get their refer a friend fee. Drivers that are coming on will have some benefits. 5 weeks commission free. And we will look to extend that into January if they start now. So, yes, we could do with more drivers. But also, we are at the most drivers we've ever had on ComCab circuit.
Right.
And that goes with the work that we're seeing. I know from an earnings point of view, drivers are earning the most they've ever earned because obviously we pay their monies to them. And long may it continue. So yes, recruitment is still very essential to us.
But what I was going to say, with the work coming out of ComCab for drivers, we all know December's busy. We all know that, right? But what I like about it is when you hit the kipper season, like in January, where it's not mad on the streets, everyone's got the credit card bills coming in, they're not going out. The biggest account you've got, taxi card, that still goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I always do.
7 days a week, 12 months a year.
Yeah. So even in January, when it's quiet, they'll be able to open it up, look at the futures in January and say, look, I know it's quiet, but I'm taking that job, that job, that job, that job. I'm earning X today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And guaranteed earnings tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is good, you know.
And that's something that we've worked very hard to achieve, that I believe within the organisation, this job is a job for them. It's their own jobs. They're self-employed drivers.
Yeah.
So they want to make sure that they can have 12 months earning potential. That you don't buy a shop and close it down for a month.
And as everyone knows, your direct debit's still coming out in January and the tax bill and everything. So you still need to be earning in January. It might be kipper, but you still need to go out there and try and get as much money in as you can.
Yes, I agree.
You know, another thing I wanted to say to you, Tony, you've done the trip to Paris. How did you find that?
Well, I think ComCab has always been very charitable with the children, and I've looked back in its history. And one of the things that I done last year is I become a freeman of the Worshipful Order of Hackney Carriage Drivers, which I'm very proud to be. And within that, they have the Magical Tour. They have some charities with Great Ormond Street. So what we've done this year is with the help of the AL Group, we put in some funding to help on that journey. We've also made quite a large contribution to the gala dinner for the Magical Tour, which raises money for the start of next year. And so on. So one of the things we've done also is we've given some money to Great Ormond Street, which is at my heart. I love to do that. And I know that it's a lot of taxi drivers' hearts, and I know that it was at my father's heart. So from that, I think, the charitable side is something that I know is very big with our eternity, because as we know, every cab driver who has a journey that has a child on board that is dropping off at Great Ormond Street should be no charge, right?
Yeah.
In that respect, we all have that piece in us. So I think from there, yes, we will carry that on, and we will carry that on, and try and get a little bit more involved in the whole process of the trip to Disney. Next year.
Fantastic. I know we've touched on like everything, like recruitment, work levels, and drivers. I mean, there's a big announcement. Could you make it today on there?
Yeah, we can.
For us?
If you want things for Liam.
Well, I can say that Addison, we've always been keen to promote the career path, whether that's from a courier rider into a car, into a Mercedes, and the one part of that journey that we've always lacked was then the ability to do the knowledge and become a Hackney carriage driver. So as of next year, we will be opening our own knowledge school within West Drayton to teach Addison Lee drivers the knowledge and to get them onto that next run of the ladder. Get them into a black cab.
So I always remember, I think I said to you earlier, that I always remember there was an article in the Evening Standard years ago when your dad was at the helm, and he said he loved the knowledge, the cab trade, because it always gave him the best drivers. Because so many Addison Lee drivers who've gone on to become black cab drivers was working for Addison Lee during the knowledge. So when people used to get in and say where they wanted, they did that. Oh, no, that leave out of rep.
So we have nothing proud.
You want to carry that on?
We have our base sheet, as you know, as ComCab is in William Road.
Yeah.
We made it very central. We took it out of Acton. We put it into central London for the drivers to come in and have their credit cards fitted, their tablets fitted, their printers. If there's something wrong, we're there to help, right?
Nice and central.
Every day. We're there every day. And we have a team there that is knowledgeable and can work on it, as you know, because you've been there yourself recently. But from that, upstairs we have the recruitment office for Addison Lee as well, but also the drivers that are coming on leaving Addison Lee, which is very rare. But we had some recently who have gone upstairs, said thank you very much to Costas, who has been there for so many years, walked down the stairs, sent a badge round, they've got a shiny new badge, and they've walked into ComCab and stayed part of the family.
Yeah.
And
that progression.
That progression we've seen, and we're seeing more and more of the drivers that are passing out, which are Addison Lee drivers, joining ComCab, because they already know the quality of work. Yeah. They already know the quality of passengers that we have, because I think from the group, the quality of passengers that we have are far superior than the quality of passengers that use other apps.
Yeah. I mean, that's because, as you all know, we've all been doing the meetings with TfL.
Yes.
Everyone's concerned that the knowledge numbers.
Yep.
Yeah. So what you're doing is trying to help the trade.
Yeah.
As a foundation that we need.
The path of excellence is something that's, as you know, has been very close to my heart to get work.
Yeah.
We have now been able to team up with someone, which will be announced in January. And from that, we will have our own real school, not in the air, not tech, not over the phone. We'll have a real school where people can go, meet other drivers, talk about what they're doing, and actually have a good feel for what it is about doing the knowledge. And they will also have the help from Addison Lee, because there's a big shout of it.
Yeah, because this, it can be expensive to do the knowledge and trying to find the time to get out on the street.
Yeah.
And so part of what we're trying to incorporate is that you can do it whilst working. And so, the runs and doing certain jobs, that will qualify for doing some of the mileage. And so it means that people can carry on working, get their knowledge, learn as they go and do it as a group. So, our drivers, we hope, are slightly more aspirational than some, and we know that they want to progress. Yeah. So we're prepared to help them. So
it's great in a sense because times are sort of hard, right? Yes. And if you want to be, when I've done the knowledge, I lived at home still. My mum and dad let me live at home while I've done the knowledge. So it'd be very hard for someone to say, you know what, I'm going to do it full time without a job. I think that's almost impossible in a sense, yeah? So if you always wanted to be a cab driver and you're thinking, but how am I going to support myself or my family? With Addison,
we want to help on that journey.
They could get a job with you as a driver, maybe as a private hire driver or something, and use that income to live on whilst progressing to get their badge.
We will help them within that process.
Terrific. Which, at the end of the day, we all know, apart from silly cab drivers, greedy cab drivers, who go, I love it, no drivers out there. But to keep the Hackney carriage trade sustainable and to have a future, because the moment we can't deliver a service, we become absolutely no good to London, So we need to keep the trade viable. And anything that can get guys on the knowledge and get them out the door as cab drivers is a good thing.
I've had several meetings with TfL and the knowledge of TfL and the managers there. They want to help as well. They want to be involved. So that's all part of it. It will all be being announced in January, and we will kick it off.
Or maybe when it's all up and running, we go down there and we can do one of these down.
By all means,
speak to some drivers.
We can have some interviews with some Addison Lee drivers that are on the path of excellence. We can possibly have a meeting with the new person who will be heading our knowledge school.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I think we've covered everything that I wanted to talk to you about today. Tony, Liam, happy Christmas.
Yes.
Prosperous New Year for us all. And thanks for watching.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
And please accept.
Oh.